Here we are, another recipe, another day. Welcome back to Chef Bob's Kitchen. Goes out again to the Cellucor Nation. Very simple recipe we're going to make today. The first time I posted about it, I literally had tons and tons of messages about, oh, how'd you do this, how'd you do that? So I figured it would come back to me sooner or later and I'd have to do it. So what are we making today? We're going to make a cheesecake, but it's going to be made in the microwave, which will only take about 3 to 4 minutes to actually power, and then you have to let it cool overnight. So that's the only downside. You can't eat it right away. It takes a little bit. Let's get right to it. Dry ingredients. I'm going to use a half of the scoop of the cookies and cream Whey, my favorite flavor off the Core Performance line. Right behind the peanut butter marshmallow and the cinnamon swirl, my top 3. So about 15 grams. 3 grams of Splenda to give it a little bit of sweetener. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon of the extra fluffy pancake mix I get at Walmart. You can use flour or any other kind of complete pancake mix. It just helps with the overall binding and rising of the cheesecake in the final product. Alright? Those are our dry ingredients. Real simple, real quick. The wet ingredients. I already have all of them in this bowl right here. 8 ounces of fat-free cream cheese. If you have a higher fat diet and you want to use 2% or full-fat cream cheese, by all means. I'm using the entire 8-ounce container. 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. I get my fat-free Wegmans brand because I live up north and that's where Wegmans is from. So a little bit of vanilla extract, a dash of almond milk, literally just like 5-10 grams, that's all you need, and 1 whole egg. Now the directions are very simple. You place all the wet ingredients but the whole egg. The whole egg goes last. So what are we going to do? We're going to take all those wet ingredients and beat them until they start to get a little smooth and creamy. That's when you know it's ready to add in the dry ingredients. So I'm going to beat this on a low speed to help keep everything binded together for about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm going to get this started and I'll come back before we add in the dry. And as you can see, very fluffy, very smooth. So now we're ready to add the dry ingredients. So now that we saw what it's like after beating for about 3 minutes on a lower speed, we're going to add all of our dry ingredients. Now be careful right when you start the mixer on a lower speed because it may go flying everywhere. So put it in, very low speed, and let it run for about a minute or so. Last but not least, let's take our egg. Now you can use an egg white if you want, but for this recipe I'm just using a whole egg. A whole egg in general will bind a lot better in the baking or cooking process, especially if you bake a cheesecake in the oven. So if you can fit in that whole egg and the 4.5 grams of fat from a large egg, I would suggest so. So slowly break it, put your whole egg in there, and we are again going to beat this on a low power for about a minute to help everything kind of bind together, and then we'll toss it in the microwave. Now that we have everything added together, our final product, it does look a little runny, but it's still thick. Now what do? Take a little bit of a cooking spray, a small circular Tupperware container, and spray it down. Just a very light coat. Because when we microwave, we don't want it to stick. Use your spatula, use your bowl, and transfer the mixture over. And like I said, it will look a bit runny, and you're probably going to say, well, this doesn't seem like a cheesecake. Just watch. Everything will work out in the end, I promise you. So, there we are. Scoop the remaining bit off. Push it all in there, as so. And we're going to take this, put it in the microwave on a medium power, so about 50%, for about 3 to 4 minutes. When the outside starts to look a little hard and start to harden up on you, like a protein cake like I've made before, the middle should be a touch gooey. That's fine. Remember that when we make this, we're going to let it cool and set it in the fridge overnight so that way it can finally harden and bind together. When you pull it out of the fridge the next day or overnight, you'll be able to flip it right onto a plate and it will come out perfect. So I'm going to put this in the microwave and show you what it should look like. While we're waiting for the cheesecake in the microwave, here's the exact recipe as I just showed you in the video. And at the bottom, around 50 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fat, 430 calories. Again, it will vary depending on the brand you use, but overall this is what you get if you use the Core Performance Cookies and Cream Whey. Other things that you can add in there, sugar-free, fat-free pudding mix, which you will see right there. You could also add in, if you used peanut butter marshmallow, one of my favorites, PB2. Now, the microwave did go off, and as you can see how it's nice and firm along the outside there, and I can kind of push it with my fork? That's good. The middle's still a little runny, but that's exactly how it should look. And all we're going to do, we're going to take this and just put it in the refrigerator. And this will sit here overnight, and in the morning, all you got to do is flip it over, and it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, it's as simple as it gets. Any other closing thoughts? Besides that, keep the recipes coming. If you want anything in particular, like I said, you can look me up on Facebook, Chef Bob, but I'm also known as Bob Kutneski. Like I said, you can look me up on many forums as a solution on bodybuilding.com, Cellucor Nation, Muscle and Strength, RX, Anabolic Minds, any of those. Add me to Instagram, B Kutneski as well. You can see all the pictures that I do and make. Same with YouTube. Cellucor Nation, thanks again. Everyone else, any suggestions, let me know. Thank you.